ever imagine living in a fairy tale? The palm trees were dancing in the wind. The joyous sounds of steel drums were beating. Mickey Mouse was holding my little sister Mandy. Our Mickey hats were bouncing on our heads. I sat on Bill's shoulders as he hung onto my legs tightly, twirling me around, enchanted with the moment. Time stood still. And even at this young age, I knew I wanted to dedicate the rest of my life to replicating this moment as many times as possible for the world. As time progressed, I looked at Bill. I studied him. What he did to be able to put himself in this position to create this magical moment selflessly. I wanted to do that. Why not me? I put it out there. Wrote in my private journal about it. Of course, with the lock and key with big, bold, threatening letters warning any of my 5 siblings who dared to open it. And I think I became one of the most annoying kids in class because I was always asking a million questions. But I had a goal to do what Bill did, to empower others, to be able to have the same feeling I did as I sat on his shoulders that perfect October day. Bill was a real estate mogul who wanted to surprise us with a trip to Disney World in his private jet. He had seen our story in the news and wanted to be able to celebrate Mandy's survival of her terminal illness. We were all so happy to have Mandy alive and to be given this moment. Fast forward to about 5 years ago, I found myself laying on a cold floor with a warm puddle of tears, a pain that had overtaken my every thought. I was drenched in sweat from my hour run, and the only thing I knew left to do was to feel more pain. I was successful on the outside, but this day, we had celebrated my mom's life, while at the same time watched Mandy go back into ICU to fight leukemia again. All while I was going through a painful divorce. And as I got up from that floor, I made a decision to prioritize my happiness over everything else. I began to remove the things that were taken away from my happiness. I tore my life down to the studs so I could rebuild it again by selling 70% of my business. This gave me more time and allowed me to work with clients I enjoyed most. Switched out my entire team and began to introduce amazing new souls that supported my happiness. And I stuck to the plan. I humbled myself by having 3 different coaches guide me to my next life. I decided to live what I call a dynastic life. This means not only building the financial means to live your best life and to bless others, but also living in such a way that you empower others to become better versions of themselves. But over the next few months, I realized one thing. If I was going to get through this, I had to get the pain out, to surround myself with the change makers that was going to support my happiness. And I knew if I was going to survive this pain, I could not be alone with my thoughts, with my reality. I had to not only physicalize my pain to get it out, I had to do the same thing emotionally. So I began to experiment with myself, see how I could bring things into my reality. Because of this, I decided to create a process that's called Dynastic Journaling. And through this process, I gave myself permission to acknowledge the negative thoughts that I had in my head. You know, those thoughts, those fears that spin like a broken record. Today, I want to share with you the dynasty journaling process I use to go from a broken life to living my own dynastic life. The 3-step dynasty journaling process is number 1, write down your overarching goal on a vision board that you're going to create. And be sure to put this on the front page of your journal. And update this as your goals are updated. Number 2, write down 5 things that you're grateful for and 5 things that you're grateful for, but don't have in possession yet. Do this each day. Studies have shown that gratitude not only relieves stress, reduces depression, but you will be more successful. Gratitude forces us to focus on what we're grateful in life, no matter where we are, rather than focusing on the negativity of a trial we may be going through. Number 3, write down all the fears and all the concerns you have for that day. Just get the negativity out. Then go back through at least 5 times and write down as a 1-sentence positive summary of what you wanted to actually say. This serves as a daily healing exercise to stop the spinning and allows you to focus on what you want your ideal outcome to actually be. What I have found is that the power to create your own enchanted dream life lies within all of us. We have the power to live a miraculous and dynastic life. This exercise helped me do just that. I met the love of my life, my partner in life. We built a beautiful dream home that we are filling with 1,000,000 memories. And I'm happy to announce that this time next year, we're going to have 100 people at our home to celebrate our wedding. And you know, I didn't forget that disco ball so we can dance the night away like I did with Bill. I invite you to take this journey with me by utilizing the Dynasty Journal for 90 days for at least 15 minutes each day and begin to live your own dynastic life. This isn't hypothesis or promise. It's a fact. Trust me, I'm a living testimony of it. The question is, will you be next?